In America, women have been participating in sports since as early as the 1800s, but really made huge leaps in the late 1900s. Both men and women can play many sports, but some required certain adjustments due to the gender differences. One sport that has evolved dramatically over the years is softball. Softball is a spin-off of the well-known American game baseball. They do have the same basic general ideas, but what many people do not realize is that softball has been named as its own sport, and many girls across the world play it. Softball was actually created by a group of men in 1887 with a rolled-up glove and a stick. It was first thought of as a way to play baseball indoors, but soon it gained popularity. It became known as softball. In the early 20th century, women did, in fact, participate in American men's baseball. Women's involvement in professional baseball was largely an attempt by sponsoring companies to profit for the uniqueness of female players. In 1943, All-American Girls Professional Baseball League had its debut, when professional baseball was in fear of closing down. At this time, the only major difference was the size of the playing field. Unfortunately, the interest decreased in women's baseball when, in the 1950s, men's Major League Baseball began being televised. In 1992, the film A League of Their Own was released, telling the story of women's baseball leagues. Softball evolved over the years, and it now stands as its own recognizable sport. Today, softball is one of the most popular sports in the country, and an estimated 40 million Americans engage in at least one softball game a year. I have been playing softball since I was 5 years old. Ever since, I have been in love with this sport. As a child, I started off playing t-ball, using a baseball in a co-ed league. At this age, no one made comments about your gender because it was all for fun. By the age of 9, I was finally able to play softball. At this time, males and females were broken up to either baseball or softball. Here I began to notice the big differences between the two. Being a softball player, you must adapt to a different set of rules than baseball. Underhand pitching is a must. The field size. And gender discrimination is a common problem. As I grew older, I started hearing rude comments about softball players. Some comments included, "Are you gay?" "You're a lesbian," or "Softball is a dyke sport." When you see a picture of a softball player, what do you have in mind? A skinny girl with no muscle? A heavy girl with a lot of muscle? A girl with pretty long blonde hair who prefers guys over girls? Or a girl with short hair who might be interested in other girls? The answer is, there is no answer, but society thinks otherwise. Going through high school, many comments were made to me and my teammates about our sexuality. Many of these comments offended us, not because we were straight or gay, but because society made assumptions about us due to the sport we play. Although baseball is a manly sport and softball is created as a spin-off of baseball, it is perceived that we want to get dirty like men in baseball. In 1972, girls' sports began to grow due to Title IX, a law enforcing gender equality in federally funded educational programs. Unfortunately, this didn't help women's baseball. Baseball and softball were thought to be the same sports in 1970, so schools were within their right to deny girls the right to play baseball when softball was available. But what the law does not recognize is that baseball and softball are not the same. As softball grew to become its own, it was admitted into the Olympics in 1996. The U.S. women won all 3 gold medals since softball joined the Olympics at the 1996 Atlanta, 2000 Sydney, and 2004 Athens Games. The Olympics were watched by many aspiring children and teens all over the world, and hoped that one day they could be in this position. Unfortunately, these dreams were crushed for women when softball was removed from the Olympics starting in the 2012 London Games. A secret ballot was held in Singapore, removing softball and baseball from the Olympics. It was said that both sports were unwanted by international sports officials who felt that they were too American for this international sports competition. Women in 126 countries play softball, and removing the sport from the Olympics affects many girls in many different countries of all ages. Jenny Finch has the fastest underhand pitch with 71 miles per hour. Mariano Rivera throws 98 miles per hour overhand, but no one questions his sexuality. The next time someone tells you that you throw like a girl, that may not be a bad thing.